welcome back here to the Central PA Pour. And as if you can see, no Kevin.
No Kevin.
But we got Mr. Ben, my middle son. He's been on a couple of previous episodes.
Yes, I have, and I am back again. Running a little late. Did some racing.
Yeah, his jet just landed.
Yeah, so we see where his
came in from
priorities are. And Dave is off to my right. You are left as you're sitting there, and I am Brett. And hope you've enjoyed some of the episodes we put out. So make sure you give us a like, subscribe, wherever you get your podcast, give social media stuff, and on YouTube. That's where we put these out. We always have some great guests. We're always looking for opportunities. We're also on the Hopped Up Network.
Hopped up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So give us a look on the Hopped Up Network. There's a bunch of podcasts on there talking about some of the similar stuff that we talk about here in Central PA. We've had some good times here recently. We're into the spring. Just past St. Patty's Day.
Yep.
And I didn't brew my beer yet. My Aaron Go Braless.
Yeah, you need to do that. We need a couple of cheerleaders in there when you're.
I'd like to find an Aaron that's Braless. Do you know any, Ben?
No, I do not.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Well,
maybe we could find one that can make it nice can art.
I like that.
So you're going to volunteer to take the pictures?
I'll volunteer to take pictures.
I hope it's not with that shitty cell phone you have.
I'm being ragged tonight. I don't have my camera, my go-to camera. I had to take pictures with a cell phone.
Hey, we've had some good times. We are starting to venture out and get into some of the food pairings that are some of our previous guests. We just did one with Starview Brews and Mike and Amy down there, and oh my God.
Yeah, food was
what'd you
awesome.
think?
Oh, that
food was awesome.
That was the Imperial bisque.
The Imperial bisque.
So let me just make your mouth water.
That was good.
His seafood bisque is to die for. It's got big chunks of scallops and shrimp. So it just alone is good. But he called this an Imperial, where he takes one of his homemade broiled crab cakes and stick it in the bisque.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. But it
was grand.
Yeah, grand. I brought some home.
Yeah,
last too
three
long.
more tastings afterwards. I'm like, oh, I was pretty full after that shrimp bisque.
So we're looking to do that and get into some of these food pairings, and we're looking for new guests. And speaking of a new guest, we met this gentleman down at the Winter Brew Fest here just a few weeks ago. And by the way, if you have never been to it, put it on your calendar next February. Look for the Winter Brew Fest at the Double Barrel. That was a great time.
Yeah, and also we hope to be doing a food pairing maybe sometime in the not too distant future with him. But if you stay tuned to this, you're going to find a lot of food pairings this year. I mean, we've got quite a lineup.
Yes, it's going to be fun.
And if possible, at some point later on.
We just need your likes and subscribes so we can have people to move our equipment.
It's getting heavy.
Yep. Welcome to the Central PA Pour, Corey Wolf from Wolf Bar.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Well, tell us a little bit about what Wolf Bar is. And we're not talking wolf like you spelled your last name or what's in the wild. We're talking like what a dog does, correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
Wolf.
Yeah.
Dogs
My
are
last
fun.
name is Wolfe, but it's pronounced Wolf. So my whole life I tell people when they pronounce it, it's like what a dog says. So why not open a bar in that same spirit of how a dog communicates?
There you go.
There we go.
It comes to mind whenever you say that, the old movie Amadeus. Does your girlfriend call you Wolfie?
No, that's been a nickname over the years. Not currently. I've had many a nickname, but not currently Wolfie.
Not Wolfie.
No.
Rock Me Amadeus.
We can start that
Rock
now.
Me Amadeus. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what Wolf Bar is. This is a new venture in downtown York.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I've been in restaurants my whole life. I've been in bars and breweries the last decade of my life. So this is kind of the culmination of my experiences around York and learning from York and knowing what I like to see in York, and hopefully now giving what I believe that people want, but also at the same time getting feedback and everything from the community and understanding I'm going to give them what they want, and it's just just this big patchwork of ideas and experiences and input and feedback to create a space that's like hopefully the most community bar that York City can offer.
Oh, cool. Because, I mean, there are a couple bars. You have the Holy Hound in there in downtown. And then surrounding that, we have all the craft brew houses, which we've had everyone on the show.
Yeah.
So what's the idea? It's just gonna be like a general bar, but I think you're gonna focus more on the local community aspect of it. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I mean, it is a brewery license, so we're going to be serving Pennsylvania made everything, Pennsylvania made. But overall, like my own career and where I am now has not been possible without so many different people adding a certain piece throughout the last decade I've been downtown. So it's really going to be a place where I've had so many people help me thus far get to the point that I'm here now. I'm going to be piecing together pieces of bar structures and bar tops that are in bars that have closed down years ago. So it's kind of Frankensteining a bar together. I'm asking people, well, if you have bar stools in your garage you've been looking to get rid of, I'll take them in. Everything is going to be different from the next thing you see.
That's
pint
pretty
glasses. I mean, I'm not going to get branded pint glasses because they get broken or stolen. So I'm going to get things from the local nonprofits like Resource York and Habitat Restore. So I'm looking to just make a patchwork place that everyone gets a part of it. I did a town hall a week ago where I said anyone who wants to give input on what I'm doing can show up and tell me what they're looking to see, what they're looking to have on the menu, what events they'd like to see. So it's really just everyone giving me their input and creating a bar around that. So I don't know how more community you could be.
And I saw you had some pictures and videos and stuff that you've been doing this as a promotion. So what are the videos? This isn't coming all out of your pocket. You're trying to you're getting people to help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my pockets are shallow. I've worked for nonprofits for about the last 10 years and once again been in the service industry for my whole life. So it's not that I have the money to start a place like this. So in imagining this idea, the idea of a Kickstarter was brought up. So a fundraising platform to be able to say, well, if you give me $25, I'm going to give you something in return. If you give me $100, I'm going to give you something more in return. So I started a Kickstarter to raise $20,000 towards my startup costs. And we are about $1,900 away, which really I hope to be finished in the next few days. But it's all a piece of making this a community aspect. If someone gives me $100, I want them to feel like they're a part of this place and the success of this place. But after that Kickstarter ends, I'm going to say, well, if you have York County, Pennsylvania Dutch type things, decorations that you want to get rid of, I'll put it in my bar and you get to walk in and say, I gave him that, or I was a part of this Kickstarter, or I want people to walk in and say, I did this thing for him, and that's what makes them a piece of the business just as much as I am.
That is a phenomenal story, how to get a local community to help back something. And I think it's awesome. This is a great story.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Reminds me a little bit of Cracker Barrel.
You know, it is very similar to Cracker Barrel, but we're a little more local than Cracker Barrel. A few less billions than Cracker Barrel probably has at this point. Next year, who knows? But no, I mean, I really modeled the idea of Cracker Barrel off of that. I read the history of Cracker Barrel, and fun fact, they have a whole team that goes to flea markets and thrift stores and estate sales.
In the local area.
In local areas to source those things. So when you think of a multi-billion-dollar company like Cracker Barrel, it's probably hundreds of millions or billions, but they have people that are buying things for like 25 cents a dollar that goes into these spaces. So I hope to have a similar place, but hyper focused on York in particular, PA Dutch, Central Pennsylvania, all of that. So people can really, the pint glass, say, oh, I worked at this place, or I visited this place, or every single thing. I want it to be like Disney, where you see.
We're going to have to send him a Central PA pour mug.
Yes. Here's the
Better
thought.
believe. Well, you know, the thing is, pint glasses will get broken or stolen at the end of the day, but things like stickers, which I've gotten from you guys, or anything that is on display, those are things that will always last. And so I always want things that the walls are going to be filled. I'm a maximalist. I want all the walls to be filled to the brim with things that people want to come back and say, well, I only looked at this wall before. I want to go to that wall and see
That's
all the
right.
things that are on there. So
Might see
it's-
something new when you look
yeah,
at it.
exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
every single experience coming into Wolf Bar will be different from the last one. If a pint glass breaks, if a chair breaks, I'm just going to replace it with a different chair from Resource Work or Habitat Resource Salvation Army. So your experience will be different every single time.
That's cool.
That is cool.
It's a
Yeah.
never-ending puzzle
I
piece.
know, it was my idea, right? You know,
It's awesome. I mean, this is going to be a unique place to go.
Yeah.
You mentioned food, so you're planning on having a kitchen?
Yes. So we're in the New York Wireworks building, which is a repurposed, almost 300,000 square foot building that has been turned into a hub of small business. There's about 90 small businesses in there right now. And in particular, one of my best friends opened a cafe and restaurant in there about a year ago, Wired Chef. And my best friend Delia, we've been working on this business idea for a while, and my bar is right next to her restaurant. So the idea of, well, you already have a kitchen. Why don't we work together so the food that I serve will be from your kitchen, keeps my startup costs low, but also the fact that a lot of interesting ideas were talked about because her culture and her heritage comes from Asian culture. So they are a great cafe. Serve coffee, you can get whatever you want there. Great place for meetings. They serve Asian fusion food. So there's a lot of great food. And one, you don't see that in many breweries or many pubs.
not at all.
Yeah.
On top of that, talking about and developing this idea, a friend said, why don't you kind of play on the fact that you want to be PA Dutch and they already do Asian fusion? How many people are doing PA Dutch Asian fusion? No one that I know of. Have not researched that yet, but we're going to combine those two things in the menu offering.
It's a Pedasian.
What
I was thinking.
I didn't trademark that yet, but
We just did. Pedasian.
I was
Yeah.
thinking
Dutch
Dutch Asian.
Ductasian?
Dutch Asian.
Ductasian.
P-A-D-U-S-I-O-N. Pedasian.
Yeah, I knew where you were going with
Okay,
it.
okay. I just want to make sure you could spell.
there's many
Whoa.
ways. Yes. There's many ways we can look at it.
Wait a
but-
minute. I'm going to go get my third grade reader over at the house.
Oh,
And
after
just-
a few beers of sitting at Wolf Bar, we may be saying Pedasian or maybe saying some other fucking shit.
Yeah, it's been interesting.
I think this idea is just we met you at the Winter Brew Fest, because Jason said, "Hey, you need to talk to him." Of course, everybody knows Jason. If you know Jason, he's gonna put you under his wing and just help you fly. So we had a great time, had a little conversation, and we're like, absolutely, we need to get him on the show and figure out what this whole idea is. but we-
Pedasian.
Pedasian.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
We were talking about the New York Wireworks there and all these businesses. You said there's like all kind of things in there. Like you can go get your nail done.
Yep. Yeah. There's nail technicians there. There's massage therapists there. There's actual psychiatrist therapists there. There's salons and there's tattoo artists, and I mean there's just anything you can think of in that building. About 90 businesses right now, and they're continuously building out because they have so much space. And that's where like the best part about this, beyond having parking in New York City, is the fact that I know exactly. But the fact that we can expand out, and between Delia, who I mentioned, who owns Wired Chef, she owns the York Merchant, which is about, probably close to 100 different merchants in one makerspace that you can just buy these little handcrafted things. That is a huge space in there. But she also has the Wired Chef, and my good friend and amazing events person, JJ Sheffer, opened up their event space called The Hangar, which is an event space for anyone to really try out ideas and host events. We're all in the same area. We're all in the same space. I will be licensed for all of that space. So Story Slam, which is like a storytelling event that happens every month that has a huge following over 10 years of that event, well, they're going to be getting alcohol from me. And any other event that goes there, we're working with Church of Hanover, or Church of Satire out in Hanover. Well, all the alcohol that they're going to have is coming from me. So the idea of just working all together is so great right now, and we just want to expand upon that when I make my millions after,
Okay.
after a year or two in this
Yeah.
place. I mean, a Top Golf or an escape room or anything can be expanded upon in that space to make it more of a destination for people to go to.
Yeah.
Interesting. So
Well,
that really
speaking-
expands the sales of your
Mhm.
business.
Yeah.
So speaking of alcohol, you brought with you some of your favorites from the local area.
Yeah.
First one is Collusion, right?
Looks like Anamorphous, yeah.
Yeah, the Anamorphous. So why did you pick this one?
I mean, honestly, I could have picked any IPA from Collusion. I love all beers, but I gravitate towards IPAs.
So does Dave.
Yeah, I've heard.
Our
Uh,
followers love the
no,
real
uh,
hop stuff.
Yeah, you know, I was gonna comment on that. I could have picked any IPA, and I still wouldn't like it.
Well, you know, honestly, there's so many choices in this world. I think that you could find one that you could say, yes,
You've
I
had
like
a
that.
couple.
I've had no. Let's set the record straight. I've had some IPAs that I said weren't bad, and I could drink that, but it wasn't one where I would go, my arm is going to go up and reach for it off
Yeah.
the shelf. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm more of a lager. I'm more of a porter. I'm more of a barrel aged. Those are the beers that I prefer. The IPAs are down underneath it a little bit. Nothing against the IPAs. It's just that I'm like I'm just not into the hoppy beers.
Well, I'll tell you, as the owner and operator of Wolf Bar,
Mhm.
we're listening to you. We're going to make sure that we have exactly what you want there, because that's what we need to do. I mean, that's what
Okay.
we need to do. And obviously, IPAs are important to a lot of people, but that's not just the scope of what we're going to have there. It's going to be very important to appease as many people as possible.
Good. I think what I'm going to do is just come down to your place, and then I'm going to say, give me a flight and please me with one of these.
Yeah, it's going to be very easy to do so.
All right, so here's to Collusion's Anamorphous. Cheers.
Cheers.
Just like I remember, it's good.
Smooth.
Got a little tang
Mhm.
and a little hop to it.
It does.
Yeah, this is. I mean, Jared does put some good stuff out.
Yes.
It's hard to make a choice when you walk into Collusion. You got that big wall, like
Yeah.
25 beers.
Oh
on
my
it.
God, yeah.
I mean, there's always you'll always find a good IPA there. And
yeah.
I mean, I definitely gravitate between 4 different beers every time I'm there. So
I mean, if you want to do a flight and try everything, you'll be drunk by the time you
Oh,
get
you
to the end of
can't
the
do
board.
it.
I was gonna say, do
You
they make
could
flight
do
of
it.
all of them?
that's tough.
You tried, didn't you?
I've tried. I've done that at backports too. That's pretty good. So you said you spent a lot of time in the nonprofit world,
Mhm.
and you sit on some boards. So you are very artistic. I'm taking it because you're sitting on the what is it? The Dream Right Center for the Community Arts and York Fringe Festival. So you have a lot. Are you going to let some of the local artists, like paint artists and mural artists, do you have anything like that in your mind?
It already started.
Oh, wow,
So,
see?
So obviously, I just got my permits to do the work in the space, the actual UCC permits. But one of my friends, Annalise, who does window murals all around York City, I've worked with her a lot over the past few years. Her schedule is very tight as the weather gets nice. She is currently painting a floor mural that enters into the space of Wolf Bar. That obviously there's tables and chairs on this side, there's a bar and chairs on this side, so the walkway that you'll enter, she's already day 2 of day 3, I think it'll be, painting a floor mural in there. And I already have another artist, Paul Godfrey, who's amazing. As part of the Kickstarter, if you're at the $1,000 level, you get to be painted into a mural that'll be in the bar at all times. So you're a founding member in that way.
That's cool.
So I'm including, I mean, right now I don't really have any income from the bar, but I know how important it is to include local artists as much as possible. And I feel like I want to be a space for artists and musicians, folks who don't have necessarily a lot of money to spend. So I want to have cost-effective options for them. So this is a space that really grows and people meet each other and they can hopefully find more opportunities to get paid for work.
We're going to have to get some pictures and put in, hopefully we have the pictures by the time this gets released.
Oh,
and
I can give you a
I
couple
can
of
put
those,
some overlap so we can get kind of a visual of what you're talking.
Yep.
I mean, It's one thing to be that visionary in your head. It's another thing to actually see it come to fruition.
Mm-hmm. Oh, trust me. Yeah, this has been
Kind of makes you giddy.
Yeah, it's been about a decade since I've wanted to open my own establishment. So there have been ideas and names and everything in my head for a decade. So to finally be able to actually execute on it is amazing and also terrifying.
Was that vision always a bar?
Yeah. I mean, I worked at Collinsville Drive-In down in the Brogue, which a lot of people, if any followers here from the Brogue, they'll know. But it's a place that's been open since 1961, I believe, 1961, 62. That's the first business I ever wanted to own, but it was always a restaurant, and it was always something where you're serving people in that capacity, like in a short service aspect. So it's always been a restaurant, and as I got more into the bar atmosphere, I realized how important and different that is. So it is definitely been a bar that I've wanted to own for about a decade now, and it's just I never thought I'd be here, and I'm so grateful that I'm at this point. But like I said, it's terrifying. It's starting a business from scratch and then dealing with PLCB and doing everything exactly correct. I'm a rule follower, but at the end of the day, it's also a lot to follow, a lot to make sure you're doing correctly, and I'm grateful that I have the community that's been helping me along the way.
Now, you're not a brewer.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Leaving
Not yet.
that option open.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've brewed with. I worked with Mudhook Brewing Company for about 10 years, and I did brew with the brewer a few times. He would do it at 4 a.m, which was a little hard for me after closing at midnight the night before. Man. But I have had experiences brewing on that 7-barrel system, and the brewers that I hope to work with that are in my brewery, at least 3 or 4 of them have said, hey, I want you to brew with me. I can teach you how and all of that. So my education on how to brew will be from the community, a collective of all the brewers that I work with and the collective of York County. So, like, that's the best case scenario for me.
That's pretty
so
cool.
many people.
I mean, it was like you had mentioned, seeing something, you walk in and you go, hey, see that? Like when we had our beer on tap down at the Sign of the Horse.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was all giddy. I went there, got dinner, ordered my beer that we brewed with them on their system. I'm like, hey, I'm checking my beer in. And it's in place. I think it's fun. I mean, hopefully got some more people that wanted to brew some of our recipes with us, but I know Sign of the Horse is going to put that Scottish ale back on tap. So that'd be pretty cool. How many taps are you looking at doing?
My goal is 10 taps.
10?
That's what I'm set on right now. I love Emery down at Scrubby's. He's been a great asset. I mean, there's been amazing assets. I mean, between Jared and Jason and Emery, they have given me so much of an education and guided me along the way. Emery being one person, is like, whenever you want to brew with me, let me know. But he was like, you should have 10 taps. You should have as many taps as you can do. And space-wise, I think that's all I can allocate. But I want to have as many options as possible for people. And obviously, I'm going to have some canned things from Brewery Products who have been really great to work with as well, guiding through, like, well, what can I offer from around the state that's interesting? But yeah, 10 taps is what I want right now. Obviously, I'd love 20, but
no big box store stuff, right? Or are you going to stick to the craft industry?
Yes. I mean, Brewery Products is as big box as it's going to get.
No, but I'm just saying, like, the Coors Light, Miller Light.
No, I will be a brewery license. I will only be serving Pennsylvania.
So Yingling would be in that if you wanted to.
Yingling is in that. Well, of course, I will have Yingling because, I mean, I want to at least appease the folks that say, I hate craft brewers. I don't want to try anything. Obviously, I'm going to give them as many free samples as possible to try to change their mind. But at the end of the day, they might go with a Yingling or a Yingling Flight. I think the most fun thing that I'm working on with Brewery Products is that they serve Old German. They have Old German, which I lived in Pittsburgh for about 3 years, and Old German was a beer that I bought for $2.75 in a pitcher. And to be able to provide the cheapest beer as possible in this place will be something that I can say, well, I have a $2 or $3 can of beer that you can get. And it's Old German.
Gonna taste like shit.
Gets the job done.
Gets the job done.
It gets you to be to get what you want, and I love that. I mean, the idea of Boilermakers and Philly Specials, that whole thing of like a shot and a beer, like for service industry people who just like want to be there and want to have that cheap thing, I want to be able to provide.
An Irish car bomb.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a few options in PA for that Irish or cream whiskey.
I'm not even going to ask my son what some of these because I don't want to know what he's drank. I mean, I was 20-some, 30 or some years old too, so
I haven't been the partier like the older son.
I know. Yeah, your older brother's definitely the party animal.
You should bring back the yard of beer.
If I can make it work on the menu and enough customers tell me I need to do it, of course I'm going to do it.
Yeah, not just me.
I know we're working right now. I actually had the second day of meetings with Penn State York. We're working with their launch box to come up with a community survey that, I mean, honestly, we've worked on this for like 5 hours now on survey questions for the community to say, what do you want? What are you looking for? And it's so in depth that like I'm doing more than I feel like anyone else is doing to know who my customer is and what they want. And it's going to be a big asset to being able to provide exactly what they want and being able to pivot when their needs change.
Well, and the thing is, you're going to have the ultimate opportunity to switch out and have a constant rotating tap system to keep that interest. Like, hey, what's he going to have there next week?
Yeah, and with Emory gave me the idea that like I should just do an open call to breweries to say, listen, I want to provide a beer from York County specifically. Maybe I'll have a spotlight tap for Lancaster so they can have a chance. I feel bad for them. They're not doing so well over there. It's dangerous over there.
There's some pretty good beers over there.
Yeah, no, for sure, definitely. But obviously, I want to feel like I'm superior to Lancaster in however way I can. But
by the way, you're going to start another battle between the white and the red roses.
Perfect.
We could do it here. We could bring them in here.
Anything that drives the views and the likes and the shares.
Looks like this side of the river's better.
Yeah. But to be able to do an open call to say, I want to work with any brewery in York County. Like, of course, I have my list of folks that I've always wanted to work with. I was working with Brewery Tours in Glen. So I've toured and worked with many folks. I mean, I started the York City 6 in York City, so I've worked with a lot of breweries, and I know who I've wanted to work with, and I love that. That's my 10 taps, but I always want to be changing things out and keep things fresh because I know people like options, and they like to go in knowing that there's going to be something different. And beyond the interiors, I know that, my drink offerings are also going to change too, much like the cocktails and everything, because people like seasonality with things.
And much like the decor. The decor will constantly change.
Of course, yeah. A bar stool's going to break every once in a while, and I'm going to go to Resource York or Habitat Resort to change it out.
I think this is what I'm loving. It's going to be an ever-growing bar that's
I think it's fucking
always
awesome.
going to change every time you go in.
Yep.
Something new.
That's a goal. I mean, people like that change. They want to be comfortable going into a space, but they also want to see something a little bit different.
Especially like your Kickstarter. They're feeling like, yeah, they are helping you establish your vision, but now they feel a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope that don't come that they walk in and they think they're entitled.
Their customers are always going to be entitled. Customers are entitled. Customers want what they want.
The customer ain't always fucking right.
Well, that's true. The customer's actually always wrong.
Yeah.
The thing is, they deserve to be heard. They deserve to be met where they can be met. And at the end of the day, they deserve to be feeling like they got what they want out of the experience. And I mean, I love customer service. I feel like I've been doing this since I was, almost less than a teenager, but I know how important it is to make people feel like they were listened to. And even if I can't give them what they wanted, I at least listen to them.
Yep.
Yeah, and so
you're absolutely right.
I never worry about that.
That key word, experience.
Mm-hmm.
Experience is everything to the customer.
Yeah.
If they feel they have a great experience, they're coming back.
And at the end of the day, you got to make sure that they keep their thoughts in check. I mean, I'm always a big person on like making sure customers know that, like, yeah, I'm your server, but at the end of the day, I'm another human being just like you. I mean, I love serving. I love serving people. But my big thing I've done in the last 8 years, when someone just a random customer, they're like, "Oh, what's the soup of the day?" And I say, "Oh, that's none of your business." And then I say, "Oh, I'm just kidding. It's potato soup, and there's this, and this, and the." Oh, you better believe the eyes you get the way that people just like shift their entire perception of you, I still get over 20% tip on that.
There you go.
But the thing is, you shift the perception of, wait, was he being an asshole? Was I being an asshole? Maybe I should just like think about who I am after this. So it works really well. And like, I just want to include as much of that as possible. I was at Robberitos this past weekend. I did the Robberito Gut Run, the half marathon. I don't exercise, but I run a half marathon once a year because they give you burritos.
Yeah.
But there's a grenade on a little chain. It was like complaint line,
Yeah.
pull
Right.
a number, and the number 1 is the pin on the grenade. And I was like, I love that. I talked about with some friends like having a suggestion box that you put the suggestion in and it falls right into a trash can. Besides like, oh, well, what if it fed right into a shredder? Like, I mean, I love the idea of like, of course, I am 200% about getting your feedback, but also I want you to know like, hey, I'm going to joke about this too. Like, also know that your feedback might be
Bullshit.
absolute bullshit, and just know that like, let's keep things on kilter. We're all the same people.
You know what you
here.
could do? Do your have your survey slips and like a little file cabinet with number 13 on top. There we go.
I'm taking every idea on like how to make sure people know that like
Have a good time.
this is serious, but also like know that this is not serious. Like,
Yeah.
it's everything all at the same time. I mean, I plan on having employee of the month. I'm the only employee on my budget right now. Employee of the month, 4 pictures in a row, just of me.
Of you.
But the thing is, the debate is, should it be the exact same picture?
Oh no, you gotta have different.
you
ones.
gotta-
Or
Every different.
see, I've had very differing opinions on if
Yeah.
it should be the exact same picture of me or a different picture every single time.
I think
don't know.
that's, to me, that's funny.
That's funny as
Yeah,
shit. It's
but-
funny as shit.
yeah.
Every picture you gotta start frowning more and more.
Okay. So the thing is, the idea that we thought between a different picture every single time and the same exact picture, I was like, well, what if the picture differs a tiny little bit every single time? So that was the middle ground between those two parties. And so you hit it on the head right there. So
That's pretty cool.
who knows? But we're definitely going to have a lot of fun in this place. I mean, fun is what we all need
Yeah,
now
sounds
more
like
than
an
ever.
enjoyable
And
time.
yeah, it's just, this is a community place. I want everyone to feel like they're
Yeah.
a part of it. If they've never been here before, if they've never even heard of York, I want them to feel like they're part of this place, and I want them to tell other people about feeling a part of this place.
So we have another beer. This is another favorite one you like. You brought along. Little Liquid Hero
Yes,
Yep.
extended stay.
Session IPA. Dave.
Yes.
All right. So tell us why you picked this one.
Well, actually, a friend of mine, Cindy Brown, I'm sorry, Cindy Bookholder, she gave me this because my favorite beer at Liquid Hero is Irregardless.
Oh yeah, I like you regardless too.
Of course. Irregardless, and they ran out. I paid for it already, and they had run out. And I was like, oh, well, I'll take something else. I took the General Pilsner. But her and I met up right after I bought that, and like a couple hours ago. And so we did a little beer exchange. I was like, I want to have a nice selection, and extended stay is great. I mean, if I want to have 4 of something, because I probably could not have 4 irregardless, extended stay is great. And so I mean, I love Liquid Hero. I'd been a Mug Club member there for 5 or 6 years. Yeah, so I really appreciate them and love
Yep.
going there for a beer.
All right. So cheers to the Session IPA from Liquid Hero. Cheers.
Cheers. Credit card cash.
Credit card cash.
Bitcoin.
Mommy made me mash my M&Ms. None of you guys were chorus kids back in the day?
No.
That's what we learned.
No.
What's that new commercial? I just saw it with the M&Ms. The guys, I didn't pay attention, but he was like doing something with the peanut butter M&Ms or something, and I didn't catch it all. It was
I
funny as
didn't
shit.
see
Though.
that one. My best commercial from the Super Bowl was they walk in and the mafia guys are playing cards, and the one guy walks in and he opens the door up to the refrigerator. And says,
Oh, the dog food commercial.
What's dog food doing in the refrigerator? He said, "That's Fresh Pet. That's for my." He goes down and he pets his, and he says, "Oh, really?" And the next scene, you see the trunk closing on the car. The 3 guys standing outside the car, and
I hate to bust your bubble. That's not a Super Bowl commercial. That's old. That's been around a while.
first time I saw it was in the Super Bowl.
Well, no, maybe the first time you saw it, but it's been around.
I didn't know it was
Was
around.
that Super Bowl
But
one?
the best line in it, the best line of it, he's petting the dog and he says, you know,
That's a catchphrase.
if anybody
No, it
asks
is.
you where grandma's.
Yes, it's pretty funny. It's a funny line. Well, Sally saw a couple of commercials. She liked the one, I guess the parrot was barking.
Yeah.
Chewy commercial.
Yeah. And it turned out
Yeah,
I think the dog was underneath the parrot, but still. It was,
the best one is the two dogs, a little chihuahua and that big thing like, ooh, the peanut butter box is here.
yeah.
That's the fucking funniest one I've seen in a long time. Well, you know that's just a medication. Yeah, sounds like we're getting peanut butter.
That was pretty good.
All right.
So are we back?
Yeah, we're getting ready. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, Ben.
Well, how would you like to grow your business to rival other businesses in York to make yourself stand out?
Because right now you only said you're a one-man show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I am. And I would never want to rival any other businesses. I think collaboration is the most important thing. Rising tides,
Raise all ships.
of
Yeah.
course. Yeah. But obviously, I want to grow to be a place. I want to be a community bar. I want to be a place where everyone can go to and feel like they are part of York City, part of York, in any way, part of the bar. So my goal is to just do as much as I can to listen to people. I mean, yes, I'm the only staff member, but that's the most important thing because I'm the owner and I need to make sure that I'm listening to everyone to listen to their feedback and make them feel involved. And that's what's going to create the atmosphere of I feel listened to, therefore I want to tell other people to go here because he listened to me, they're going to listen to this next person and all that. So that's the best case scenario I can hope for.
And right now you don't have a particular date and set date that you're going to be like, hey, we're grand opening.
No, and I don't know if I'm a grand opening person. I mean, I love the Ocean's movies, and who I forget which character by Ocean's 13 says like, oh, we never had a soft opening and a grand opening. We just one day we were closed, the next day we were open, and that's kind of the way I want to be. I want it to be a word of mouth place. I've been working on word of mouth since I launched the brand less than a month ago. And between the Kickstarter, where I have 60 people who know I'm going to open and will get updates on that, and the press I've gotten to know that I'm opening a place, like I want it to be just a casual place where I'm going to just like slowly just integrate into being open, and everyone's going to know about it. So
You had mentioned when you got here, you and I were talking, and you're like, this will be my first like official interview other than podcast. And how did the news media come in? Because you've done some news media releases. I've seen a couple like they're promoting the shit out of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I've been in York City for a long time, so I have created the networks to be able to know the people when something comes up to be able to talk to them. And so I'm grateful for that. Like York City 6 was the very first time I did that. That was 7-8 years ago. Where I learned from Downtown Inc., who's our Main Street program, who's very much tied to the media, on how to create a press release, how to create a media advisory, how to create a structure so when the mayor comes out, this is what he should say. And I did exactly that, and I accidentally misspelled the mayor's name. So that was my first experience. But I've learned how to navigate some of that and know, like, when something's that important, you can find the right people to promote that. And so I've been super grateful that after the York Daily Record, top fold article, day one of my media release, of the brand release, that I was there, and then Fox 43 said, hey, we want to have you on the next day. And then now with you all, like, I'm super happy to be here, and I hope to be on WITF sometime soon. I'm gotta reach out to them, but like it's important to make sure that you spread the word. And
sounds like we're gonna have to pay him out of our not-for-profit business to promote Central PA Pour.
No. I think it's super important to promote everyone that you're working with, and for me, the collaborations are important.
It is, and I think you're doing what you I can see the passion in you. You're trying to bring a community together with all different aspects and let them have input. And like you said earlier, it makes them feel part of something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for as much volunteering as I've done over the last decade, to have my entire branding guide, like the brands that you see that I've shared, that was done from a friend from high school who said, I want to do this all for you. Gave me a full branding guide for free. A friend that I'm on the board of Redline Roars with, a CPA, he said, I want to do your pro forma because I like doing that for free. So he did it for free. My best friend Delia, who owns Wired Chef, she wrote my business plan for me. She took everything from my brain, put it on paper. The amount of work that I've gotten for free from people because they want to help me, because they know my passion, I could have spent over $30,000 at this point, and I haven't because they've done it for free. Jason Snyder, he's helped me through my PLCB filings, and he's amazing for that. And so it's amazing to see what has come back to me after a decade of just really putting myself out there.
Pay it forward.
Exactly.
Pay it forward.
And so I want to promote as many people doing that same thing. I hope I can inspire other people to say, hey, I'm starting a brewery for under $100,000, and you can too. You just got to be able to put in the time leading up to it. It's really important to know like the steps to get there. And if you're not a rich person, which I am not, you can still do it as long as you make sure to do the right things along the way.
If you have a vision and a passion, where there's a will, there is always a way to succeed. You don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're finding out it can happen if you can get people to buy into that vision and passion and help you along.
Yeah.
It's any business, anywhere, even your everyday life. Get to people around you and inspire people. Don't be negative with them. If you're negative, done. Like you had mentioned about well, it ain't none of your business. But you know what? It works. If you get people thinking differently, and I'm in the automotive repair field, and we deal with a lot of different stuff every single day. And we're at the end of that day. Nobody wants to be in my business anyhow because they know they got to spend money. They're without their car. So they're already frustrated. If they have a bad day, they're coming to me at the end of the day to pick their car up. They're not happy.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to try and change that mindset. I think your positivity is just, I'm speechless with it. I mean, it's just amazing.
Well, I'm announcing my run for mayoral candidate. Just kidding. No. Oh, gosh. Can't do that. Not this year. But no, it's just, it's what people have given back to me is what has kept me going. The energy that I have is from everyone else. The ideas I have are from everyone else. I do have unique ideas every once in a while, but everything else is from what I've seen happen around this country, my travels around the world, and what people have told me they'd like to see. So it's just, I mean, as long as we listen to people, we're going to come up with the best ideas as long as we want to execute them. So I'm happy that I get to do that, to listen to people.
The one person I can definitely, I mean, if you know Carmine Pantano.
Of course, he's one of our first Poor Club member donors.
I'm going to say.
And you all can be a first Poor Club member too for $1,000.
Yeah.
That's not a joke.
It wasn't a joke.
Who's rich around here?
Kevin, he's traveling.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why is he not here? Let's call him on the phone right now.
Yeah, but he will definitely. Carmen's he's amazing.
He is.
Yeah,
I mean, I was a board member of Buy Local Coalition. I resigned from that board because I'm focusing on
Your business.
opening a business. So as much as I love Buy Local Coalition, and as soon as I launched my LLC,
you'll be
my social
membership.
media, I already am a member. I already became a member because I know how important that group is
I'm a
to
member
this
too.
community. Yeah, it's a great membership base, and as a board member, I got to see how much that membership has grown and how important it is when something can grow that quickly because of people like Carmine and all of that. So like, I'm going to support and collaborate as much as possible. If I have a Buy Local Coalition beer on tap, which I can do, I'm going to do that because it's cool.
I don't know where the fuck he gets all the time for things he does.
Yeah, neither.
Because he's not married and he don't have kids, just like me. I have a cat at home. That thing feeds itself. So I have all the time in the world to do everything I do, and I think it's the same with him. And I mean, he has a little more money than I do, so he can go to all these restaurants, and I love Carmine for what he's done and the input he's given me and how it's really advanced me on the way.
He is a huge advocate for local community.
Yeah. I mean, by local coalition, I would still be a board member if not for the fact that I need to focus on opening my own space. I think the only board I'm really on now is Dream Rights, and Dream Rights is so important to me because it was the very first board that I got on. I'm on the York City Planning Commission, which is very important to me, and working out how I can still be a part of that every single month. But I'm going to volunteer as much as I can outside of opening this bar and being there 7 days a week. I'm organizing a litter pickup on March 30th that I've already have like 10 different businesses on board to promote, and we're going to do a social back in the space where my bar is going to be. So I'm doing as much as I can to make sure that the community knows I want to show them I care.
And so it'll be an outside venue as well then, like a nice seating outside.
Yes, there will be outside seating for sure.
You had mentioned earlier that you were with Brewery Tours. Back in the day, you were County Ale Trail for years. That kind of helped you as well, right?
So I will say the biggest thing I learned from that, which I'm so grateful for my time that I spent there 5 years. I come from Airville, and I grew up knowing that York City was a shithole, and you were going to get shot or stabbed or robbed if you went there.
You're not that old yet. I mean, come on.
I'm old enough that I was told that in Airville, and that's what I believed. When I lived in Pittsburgh for 3 years and came back to York, I lived in York City because I needed to be in a city. I couldn't go back to... My next-door neighbors were Amish growing up. That's how rural I was.
Were they Pedasian?
They weren't. I don't even know if they had ever met an Asian person before, so they were full-on PA Dutch. But I grew up next-door neighbors to Amish people. I didn't have internet service or anything down in Airville. So coming back to York and having this perception of York City that, like, I lived in Pittsburgh. If I lived in Pittsburgh, I could definitely live in York City. My whole mindset changed. Like, obviously, when I was a teenager thinking York City was dangerous, that all went out the window. I've lived in York City for 10 years now. I've somersaulted home every night. And thing is, I've never had an issue. Yes, I'm a white man, so that's a whole different aspect, but I've been fine. So my goal has always been to tell people back where I'm from, listen, if I can do it, you can come here every once in a while. So my whole idea behind Wolf Bar with the PA Dutch aspect is, well, this is what I grew up with. This is what I remember. This is what I want to remind people down in Airville of. So if I can entice them to come up to say, okay, well, we know someone from Airville opened a bar in York City. We're going to try it out once. They go there. Okay, well, I'm reminded of, there's a shoe fly martini, or there's a this and that, and everything that reminds them back
shoe
home.
Fly martini. I'm in.
I know, right?
I don't drink martinis, but you mentioned shoe fly.
Yep.
Oh, you just said
And you know what the garnish is? A piece of scrapple. Just kidding.
No.
We'll figure it out.
Now you got my fucking attention.
That's the Bloody Mary. The Bloody Mary, that would make sense as a garnish
with a little
for
king syrup in it.
Exactly.
Oh my God,
so if I can remind people back home that I'm thinking of you down there, you're not going to get shot or mugged. You have parking right on the spot. My goal is to remind those folks that it's not what the media portrays York City to be, and hopefully they start to be a part of York City more than they were before. And same with places like Dover and all these places around. Obviously, I'm from the southern part of the county, so I don't know the upper areas of rural York County, but I want them to feel comfortable coming down to York City and at least supporting my bar. I don't care if they go anywhere else. The goal is, yes, that they support these other places,
right.
But if they can start with Wolf Bar and then expand out, then I can be a true deep change in what people feel about York City and what it truly is.
Yeah.
Because it's never been bad to me.
When I grew up, so I've been here all my life in Dover, like my wife jokes with me. York City definitely was not one you wanted to be down there too long by yourself. It wasn't bad, but what has transpired over the last 15 years, and the one key word you mentioned earlier was destination. When we've had Glenn Smith on here twice, his goal was to make York a destination. And York City, I mean, it is broadened. I mean, it's beautiful. And I think what Downtown Yank has done, Buy Local, and all that, have created that experience. Like, hey, come to York City. We have a lot of great businesses down here, and it's not dangerous. And anywhere you're going to go, people are going to be people.
Mm-hmm.
But I think trying to create that image of what people hear on the news and separating the noise from the facts until they come out and experience it, then they're going to have a good time.
Yeah, and I the two things that I'm always reminded, and I always tell people, is, so I grew up in Airville, so I grew up next to farms. I grew up to posted signs.
Yep,
Everyone knows
posted.
about posted signs.
Yeah.
So I say that's very similar to York City. You got to know where you should be and shouldn't be. That is common sense.
That's
In the
definitely-
country, there's a sign posted there. If you're beyond those limits on that sign, you might have a shotgun posted in your direction.
Yep.
But that's just the way. You got to have common sense. In the city, you should know where you should be. The only ways you're going to get in trouble in the city if you're trying to join a gang or buy drugs. And, well, both of those things aren't necessarily legal. So that's what's going to happen. And the other thing is, with the people that I've seen on tours for the last 5 years that I did tours, I had a lot of people that said, oh, well, my cousin bought me this ticket, or my sister bought me this ticket, and I don't want to be in New York City. Blah, blah, blah. I had them they were a captive audience for 3 hours. And my biggest change 5 years ago till now is seeing, I can name at least 8 people that this didn't happen often, so that's why it's only 8 people, but from the start that they didn't want to be here to the end of the 3 hours when they said, I can't believe everything that's going on in New York City. It's pretty cool. I can't wait to come back. To see that change, where what is the point where they change? It's the point of me having the passion that I have about York City, and I want to convert as many people as possible to know that, like, yes, you can get into trouble in York City, but if you be smart and you're doing good things, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
If you have a homeless person ask you for 43 cents for a bus fare, is that really harming you that much? That's just being in a city. You're going to get that in any city.
I'm always asking for like $5 and get a beer.
Just don't make a left turn on the wrong street.
Yeah.
I mean, even then, you're fine. As long as you're not stopping and asking someone if you could buy, I don't know. But it's just a matter of being mindful, being a community member. And that's why, me as Wolf Bar, we're doing as many community-minded trainings as possible. We just completed a training last night for Safe Bar. Safe Bars, which is a program that's about bystander training, recognizing potentially sexually violent scenarios between patrons and bars, which we're the first Safe Bar certified establishment in all of York County. And I'd been through training like that before that the YWCA of York offered, that Liquid Hero and Mudhook and Crystal Ball had all been through, and then Beyond the Bar kind of like dissolved. But I want to be trained on how to serve our community, even when it's not the best case scenario.
Yeah.
Even when it's dangerous or hard to address, or just anything. I want to be able to help the community when it's hard. So I want to be the first in a lot of things, and we're the first Safe Bar certified bar in York County.
You know what? If you were running for mayor, I'd vote for you.
Yeah.
Well, just give me like 3 more years until I make my millions in Wolf Bar.
Okay.
Didn't we say that when we started this
I
adventure?
think we said that. The same
And we still
thing.
haven't made a fucking dime.
I'm waiting for.
And I don't expect to make a dime. I mean,
You know.
a for-profit business is a non-profit business, so I already
We're
have
actually starting on our second million. We gave up on the first one.
yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I would love to be part of city government in the future. I mean, I've sat on the City Planning Commission for about 6 years now, and I've learned a lot. And I've thought about council a few times, but the thing is, the highest priority right now
Is
for
your
me
bar.
is my dream of a bar. And, yeah, I mean, I have examples of, I think the former governor of Colorado had his own brewery. Like, the idea of running your own campaign events out of your bar is super cool, but I need a few more years before I would run for council or mayor. I feel like council is before mayor, and the race right now, which is super hot right now, who's running for mayor, I'm just here saying I'm the first person here saying I'm not running for mayor unless someone endorses me.
Can
All
we
right.
make a news? Can we make a news flash out of that?
News
Do
flash.
whatever you want.
News
Any
flash.
press is
Flash
good
article.
press. I'll take it. Yeah.
All right, so this is another one you brought along. Liquid Hero General Pills.
Yes.
So tell us why you picked this one.
I mean, this is a classic Liquid Hero beer. This is one of the, I think they had this from the start, and it was in their cooler.
That was in the
So
cooler.
yeah. So that's
The other ones were not there, so you
No,
just
they were
picked the
not.
General Pills.
I mean, I would have had it regardless here. That is like my 100% go-to. So I go with what they have. But I mean, General Pilsners. I mean, it's about appeasing
it's a
people.
clean,
what people
crisp,
want, of course. Yeah.
sessionable beer.
Yep.
So cheers to Liquid Hero
Cheers to that.
General
Cheers to
Pills.
Liquid Hero.
Yeah, it's always a good. I mean,
Nice
that
and clean.
if you're
Yes.
looking for a nice drinkable beer, Pilsner's is always a class act.
Mm-hmm.
It's not over heavily. It's definitely crushable. It's a sessionable beer.
Refreshingly
Empty,
different.
but it always has that nice sweetness of the malt, and it just finishes just nice. So when I take people to a craft brew house that drink nothing but like Miller Lite,
Mm-hmm.
fucking water, which is Coors Light, and they have nothing else. Like, well, you want to look for either a Pilsner. So if you drink Miller Lite, you're going to look for a Pilsner. God, trust me, you're going to like it. I didn't like it. It tastes a hell of a lot better than your shit, didn't it? So that's where the craft thing is. Bring somebody and introduce them to the craft
Mhm.
beer. I think what your vision is you're going to introduce them to a variety of craft beers
Mm-hmm.
and help promote the other businesses around your immediate area and then beyond.
Yeah, that's important. I mean, everyone's going to help support me by me supporting them. That's just how a community works. So that's what I'm going to do.
What you said, rising tide raises all ships. And I think what you've got going on is just absolutely phenomenal.
Is that a Navy term?
I don't know. I wasn't in the Navy. I was in the Army.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was just, perusing that question if that was a Navy term.
See, in the podcasts I've watched, there's always someone off to the side Googling all that for them. So
Oh, yeah.
when you make your $3 million, that's when
We
you hire
know
that
then we'll have
person.
our we'll have the
Yeah,
people.
well,
It's like,
We'll have
hey,
the
people.
Google that.
Actually, if you go back to like the first maybe 10, you'll see me with an iPad. And I'm sitting here doing the exact same thing.
Oh, we had Dave's trivia question.
Yeah, the trivia questions.
We got away from that because we weren't getting anybody response. Although who was it? We had Brooks Haymauer on when he was
Brooks. Yeah,
we give him a trivia question. He fucking answered.
he answered them. That was,
Love that.
yeah,
I'm like, holy shit.
yeah. We had quite a few. In fact, I still have them. I still have trivia questions. We just never used them, and I just hoped that we had a situation where we can use them, and maybe we can use them somewhere down the road where we can have audiences for a food pairing. We can say, okay, you could take home a goodie bag if you answered this question.
Some
Mhm.
Imperial Bisque from Starview.
There
Ooh,
you
yeah,
go.
That sounds really
I
good.
will
I'm
highly
thinking about how you,
That bisque was
I will highly
Super.
recommend if you've never been down to Starview Brews, go down there and ask for it. And you're going to pay for it. It's not cheap,
Mhm.
but oh my god,
I just got an idea. We should do a trivia show live at his Wolf Bar.
I'm into it. I'm into it.
live,
Yeah.
dude. We don't do shit live.
Well, we got to
Yeah.
start. That's how we monetize.
Well, call Ben. Call Ben. And
Interesting.
let him
I
know
like-
Ben. Let him know Ben's calling.
Call Ben.
You'd be fucking late to the live show.
Hey, man, races are
wow.
more important sometimes.
Hey, he's my kid. I can do what I want. I can say what I want, do what I want.
Let you
I'll
have.
take it.
Yeah.
So, do you realize? I mean, I know you're passionate right now till you get this, and hopefully by the time this releases, you are getting ready to open your doors. How much anticipation, and then on the backside of that, how much like, oh shit, like since you are the only employee, how many days a week you going to be open? That means I'm going to have to work everything. I'm going to have to do everything.
This is a dream. I mean, so to be able to fulfill my dream, I'm going to do whatever it takes to fulfill my dream. So, yes, I do have in my budget money for other staff members. My goal is not to have to use that for as long as possible because that makes me debt free sooner. My goal is to be debt free by year 2, which is very ambitious, but at the same time, I've worked on these numbers for almost 2 years. So I know what to expect. I always lowball myself, always. So I'm expecting the worst case scenario and still being able to support my own lifestyle. I am so excited to be there every single day, every single hour. And the thing is, I would never want to introduce another staff member into that mix while it's chaos. It will be chaos.
It's gonna be chaos.
I mean, there will be so much chaos until I figure out a footing, and there will always be a level of chaos. So when I get through that year mark, I know I'm going to be ready to then bring someone in, because if I brought in someone from the get-go, it'd be like, well, you have no stake in this. I don't want to give anyone stake because this is my thing. The community is stake in it, but I don't want to give anyone else the responsibility of conveying my entire concept and put that pressure on them. I'm not going to do that. So that's where it's just going to be me, and I don't have any plans for the next couple of years. My cat is going to be really sad at home.
It's gonna be awful lonely.
I'm going to try to train my cat to water my plants.
Well, it may water it, but it may kill it.
Yeah. So besides that, I plan on just making sure that I've been preparing for this. I mean, I've resigned from boards and volunteer opportunities to make sure that I am ready for this.
It sounds like you have a lot of people that have helped you get to this point, like your friend with the restaurant right next door. So the only thing in my mind as a business owner is you're going to be running a bar. You're going to have to tend to the customers.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to be the bartender
Mm-hmm.
and the waiter trying to take their orders. We're
collusion, kind of like collusion. The way that you order at the bar, you get a buzzer. That type of scenario.
Okay.
That's the way that we're gonna do things from the start. I would like to over time honestly, how Holy Hound grew into themselves. Like, you only used to be able to order at the bar at Holy Hound, and then you would pick up your food when it's ready. And they at one point didn't even have food. But for me, it's about, well, people need to understand what we can do right now, which is, I'm going to give you a buzzer. You're going to pick up your food here. Yes, I'm going to clean off your table afterwards. But if I can make it as customer-centric focus that the customer wants to put their drink in the bin when they're done, they're trashing that, makes it a lot easier for me. But at the end of the day, people are going to understand that I'm the only one there. And I've worked in bars a lot that I'm the only one there. And people are very understanding. And it's about, well, I want to grow too, and you understand I want to grow beyond this. So they're going to be receptive to that. And if they're not, they're probably an asshole, and I don't want them there anyway. So
I tell you what, what you said, if people have come up and stepped to the plate that you weren't expecting, then, like you said, it would have cost me thousands of dollars to do this, and people have stepped up to help you. You may be surprised. You may get free help.
Oh, beyond anything. Oh, I've had so many. I probably had over 15 people say that they would work for beer. I don't think in the state of Pennsylvania I'm allowed to do that. So
off the books,
it's under the table.
You can volunteer as much as you want.
Yeah, it's a volunteer.
That's the thing. So that's the thing. So
and we're having a beer afterwards.
You're just looking the other way when they go over to the tap.
So my first year, because of the way I'm doing this with so many different entities involved. Yes, PLCB wants to look at the different investors financially. a Kickstarter is money given to me. That is just my investment. They look at all of that. They look way deep into that, which I appreciate and understand. But the way that I'm doing things where it's just like so many different people, I'm going to have a magnifying glass on me for at least my first year. And so that's why, yes, as much as I am so grateful for all the people for that email that just came in.
The fuck was that?
It's PLCB saying, "Oh, we denied you." Oh my God! Just kidding.
They're monitoring this.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But the level of how much they're going to be looking at me my first year, it's like a matter of I need to do everything to the T. And I'm a big rule follower, so I love that. I want to do what's right.
So you don't feel nervous as you're going in through this first year?
I'm super fucking terrified. I'm terrified at all points because, I mean, honestly, my goal was to purchase the bar that I'd worked at for a very long time, and that didn't work out. So I'm starting my own thing, and I'm not a starter. I'm a reworker. I reimagine things, and I make it better than what I came into. I was the executive director of Resource York, and I came into that place which already existed for almost 20 years, and I tried to make it better than it was. And I love coming into a place and making it better than it was. I don't start places. That's a whole other thing of paperwork and all that, and I don't like that. But I've had to do it, and I'm grateful for the experience.
And you come in, and from what you've been saying is everything you've touched, you almost have like a Midas touch. You've turned things around and made it better. You put your flair to it.
That is up to the community to decide. I would never say that for myself. I would like to think that I have left everything I've done with some kind of positive in it. I mean, more than anything, you could say that the mural projects, the public art that I participated in, I mean, I've deleted 300 pieces of graffiti in York City in 1 year, and I hope that I've added even more mural projects in this past year, plus more coming into this year. So, I mean, I like to think that I leave any place like a campsite. You believe it better than what you came into it, but that's up for everyone's else discussion.
I tell you what, this story's phenomenal. The passion.
I told you, didn't I tell you?
Oh, you did. You fucking said, "Hey, man, you gotta have me the fuck on because I got a hell of a story to tell you."
This is very interesting and cool to hear this.
Well, my father, he stocked shelves for a living. Also, stocked shelves for a living, and that's all he did for his whole life. And so,
you have passion. You could just feel it. You feel it?
Yep.
You feel it?
we just got to turn that into money.
Do you feel this?
I thought that was just the cold air blowing in.
I can't wait to have this, to be able to experience your vision and your passion in downtown York and bring a whole nother aspect into there and rejuvenate some more people. Like you said, there are still people that don't want to come into New York. Like, we took a friend of ours down there. He says, I don't come in here. I've been in here in over 10 years. Mm-hmm. But he's like, oh, this is pretty cool.
More than anything, though, downtown York is where everyone goes. We've lost our neighborhood bars. We've lost Bottoms Up. We've lost our Deggans. We've lost our the Depot. All those places, we've lost them pretty much to Rudders and Giant and all of them for the liquor license. And the idea to start a liquor license establishment in a neighborhood, you got $500,000 right there.
It's
right
hard.
there.
It's hard.
It's horrible. Why would anyone want to do that? If you're going to start any licensed alcohol establishment, you're going to do it downtown because of foot traffic. This is the first place that we were really starting in York City that is based around an alcohol license that we really have to rely on the fact that people are going to go.
And it's not right downtown. It's
it's outside of downtown.
It's several blocks down.
Yes, it's on the 400 block. So
Yeah.
it is a 12-minute walk from downtown. You can walk there. I mean, I live a half a block from this establishment. I've lived on the same block, the 300 block, for 10 years now. It's a walk, but the thing is, we need more. We need neighborhood bars. We need community.
You need to expand
bars.
out from that general center city.
Yeah,
you're trying to bring it
you
out.
have to. It's a city, and we used to be that way.
Yeah,
and we aren't anymore. And so, when does the future dictate that we should never be that way anymore? Or we need to get back to that way, which I hope we need to get back to that way. But also, it's not just about neighborhood folks. It's about anyone who wants to feel a neighborhood, a community that we don't have like we used to. I mean, we don't have social clubs like the way that we used to. They exist.
One just left, right? The Revival or whatever.
Oh, Revival, yeah.
They
Revival
just closed up. They just closed up.
You think about the clubs like the Elks Lodge and the VFWs and all those places. Are their memberships going up or are they going down?
Going down.
They're going down. So the thing is, we want the camaraderie of those places that used to exist post World War II. That's the height of all those places.
Yep.
But well, what do we want now? Do we want social media to be our one place that we do that? No, we want actual human interaction. And a big thing that I'm working with Penn State is like actually addressing the fact that you wouldn't know because I'm pretty confident here, but I have a lot of social anxiety. I will look at a bar in the window to see how busy it is or what it looks like. Yeah, I won't lick the window or anything. Won't.
I'll lick the window.
But I want to see what it looks like inside before I go in. And if it doesn't look like a place I'll feel comfortable, I won't go in. And that is the same for a lot of people. I mean, definitely a lot of people growing up because neurodivergency and all of that. But the thing is, at the end of the day, well, yeah, we need to address those people who don't feel confident walking into a bar because it feels uncomfortable for them. So for me, I want those barriers to be not
even there. Yep,
exactly.
Not even there.
So I want you to feel welcome the second you walk in. I want you to be said, hey, thanks for coming in. I'll be right with you. I mean, I might have 50 other customers, but I'm going to tell you, I'll be right with you.
That's the key to a business. Even though you're talking to somebody or you're on the phone, if somebody walks in your door, acknowledge them.
That's the most important
Acknowledgement is the biggest thing.
Of course.
Don't ignore them.
You, it's interesting to know that how many places don't get that. And for me, it's a number one thing.
It is.
It will always be the number one thing. Feeling recognized.
Exactly.
I'm not going to bring a name up, but it's the thing that you just said, and a lot of businesses don't understand that. Is when, and I'm not going to bring up any names, but it might ring a bell. But what's it?
Bring up the name.
No, but I've been to go in to purchase something, and you're halfway through talking to the fellow behind the counter, and the phone rings, and he picks it up and starts talking to the guy on the phone.
Yeah.
And wait, I'm right here. I mean,
yeah.
I have actually done this in my younger days, but I've actually done this. I have actually.
They had phones back then.
Oh,
I thought it was just like the
Morse code.
Morse code.
I know Morse code. I'm a ham operator.
Well,
yeah, there you go.
Well, we see why.
But anyway, I've actually done this. I have actually called the guy behind the counter while I was standing there talking to and asked him a question about a part, and he says, "Yeah, I got it." And he says, and I said, "Good. I'm standing here. Go get it."
Yeah.
I've done that.
It's so important, and I mean, I feel like not enough places realize how important that is. And for me, like I just shared a recent Facebook post, which like was the first time I posted on LinkedIn about launching my bar, and I think the first time on Instagram I launched my bar. But I basically said, I've been a lot of places. We've all been a lot of places, and for me, it's about. There's a spectrum of I've walked into places and they've made me feel like I'm part of the team, part of the family, part of that whole group.
Yeah.
On the other side of the spectrum, I've walked into places and felt like I don't think I should be here right now. I feel like are they closed or are they what or the other? So that's the spectrum. I want to be on the end of people feeling like they're part of this space. Obviously, like that's my goal, and so I'm going to be thinking at every single moment. How am I doing this? And if I'm doing anything on the wrong side of the spectrum, I need people to tell me, and I need to be constantly thinking, how am I potentially accidentally doing things that make people feel like they shouldn't be here? Because at the end of the day, those people aren't going to buy a beer. These people are going to buy 3 beers.
Yep.
That's how business works.
So since you're not going to have the contemporary or standard, like these bar stools, I'm going to bring my own every time I come in.
You know what? We can do that for a fee.
For a fee, $1,000.
So right now, less than that. Right now, we're a part of the Kickstarter is for $100 you get a plaque, a commemorative plaque. And my idea is, as someone who's been a lifer basically, and who knows a lot of lifers, I've worked in nonprofit a lot of time. Nonprofits, they name everything. Like Dream Rights, we have the York Water Fountain. We have the Rutter's concession area. We have this and that. And I was like, I'm going to name whatever I can. Yeah. So I'm naming things for $100. So the honorary light switch, the honorary fire alarm, the honorary HVAC event, I will name anything. So if you want a name on a bar stool, Just $100.
My luck will be the fucking Central PA pour or Brett Fadley urinal.
The thing is, I have been asked to name
you have?
the toilet plunger to have that on there, so it's not too far off. And honestly, I'll do whatever anyone wants.
Whatever the people want.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean,
Make them feel welcome.
But the thing is, lifers might not ever get the chance to be able to have an honorary plaque somewhere, and so this is my opportunity to say, I know you work in a restaurant, you work for tips, but for $100, you can have your name to commemorate you for eternity, because obviously Wolf Bar is going to be open for 400 years. But to give that opportunity is something unique that other people don't get the opportunity to. It's the York Water Company, who's been around since the 1800s, and these huge companies that have millions of dollars to sponsor things. I want to give the everyday person the opportunity to sponsor something. I mean, same with drinks. I'm naming any beer, any drink on my menu for $500. And you get to be a Mug Club member on top of that. So if Wellspan wants the Wellspan lager, sure thing. I'll take their money.
Now, how are you going to do that when it's somebody else's beer?
But I'm contracting.
You're contracting so you can name it.
Yes,
okay.
It is the Wolf Bar beer, and I can name it the...
Okay, that's interesting.
The Central PA Pour. No, the Central PA Pour Tour. You know, the porter, whatever you want. As long as you got the $500, you're good for whatever you want to name it.
Now, will this Kickstarter continue even after you open?
So that's where I've been thinking a lot, since the Kickstarter has about 6 days left in it. I want to continue this, because right now I've only been able to venture out into certain aspects. I've had a lot of small businesses say, I would love to name a drink using my business's name. They're not good for it right now, but maybe they are in the future. So that's a constant stream of income for me that doesn't cost me anything. So just like a Mug Club membership is something where you get these benefits by being a Mug Club member. It costs me a small amount, but I'm going to continue doing a Mug Club membership. Yeah, I think I'm going to continue doing well.
That's
if you
awesome.
If you want to name a drink for a quarter, you can name a drink for a quarter. A plaque, you can name a plaque. I have all the room in the world for a plaque. Maybe we become known as the Plaque Bar, where there's 200 plaques all over this place naming every single thing. But I think right now we have about 30 to 40 people who've gotten plaques.
There's a couple places. Dollar bills were one, and you write your name on it. Like it's normally like it. I go to a lot of motorcycle events, so you travel to some of these well-known places, and you write your name on it. They hang it on the wall.
Yeah,
a couple places in Daytona, they have women's bras hanging all over the place.
Yep. We're
some
gonna
small,
have we're gonna
some
have men's
small,
bras
some big.
hanging everywhere.
Yeah, there was even a bro down there.
Yeah, Seinfeld days. I want to be unique in as many ways as possible, and whatever the community designates that to be, I'm gonna be.
So tell us again, where is Wolf Bar going to be open at? How can they find you? Website, social media, even though I got it above us up here.
So it's at 441 East Market Street, which is the New York Wireworks factory. It's been repurposed. Obviously, there's about 100 businesses in there now, 80 to 90. It's growing every single day. There's about 150 parking spaces there. So there is definitely room on both the East Market Street. The business stretches all the way to Philadelphia Street. So there's parking on both sides of that building, access inside of the building, both sides. So that is the actual location. The website is woof.bar. So you can put in www. if you want to, but at the end of the day, it's woof.bar. Put that into your browser. You'll get to Wolf Bar. Right now, all that's on the website is the link to the Kickstarter, because that's where we're at. But we're Wolf Bar on Facebook. The other Wolf Bar that you search on Facebook is a gay club. Whatever, so be it. Support them. Love that. But we're the first one that pops up locally. But don't get it confused with the other one. Like the other one, sure, whatever, sports, small business. But yeah, we're Wolf Bar on Facebook and Instagram.
What was that? The Police Academy. They took the Police Academy one. You remember that? They went to the Blue Oyster Club or something.
Blue Oyster Club. Yeah, they thought that was a hop and rock and roll bar.
Hey, we support all likes of people. Anyone who's got money to spend.
Anybody wants to have a good time.
Exactly.
Yes.
Working at Mudhook, we had York's Gayest Happy Hour that was there every single month. they spend money on drinking alcohol and have a good time there. And you know what? We're going to work with them too.
It doesn't matter. If you want to come and you want to have a good time and enjoy a community aspect of it,
yeah,
doors are welcome.
I want everyone to feel included.
If you want to come an asshole, and don't bother.
Exactly. And everyone, it's not just going to be me as the owner to identify that. It's going to be the whole collective. And that person will either change the way that they're going to be right then and there, or they're going to see themselves out. It's not going to be a hard time. It's not going to be one person saying, no, I don't like you, get out. It's going to be the customers that say, we don't like that person.
We don't want it here.
Exactly. So that's the best case scenario. That makes my job easy.
Community, safe, fun, and friendly environment.
Yep.
That's all it's about.
That's what it is.
Ben, any comments?
I do not. This has been an enjoyable time listening to Wolf Bar open up soon, right? Or when is it opening again?
As soon as your check comes in the mail. If I had $1 for every time I said that, I would have enough money to open my bar. No, we're hoping by April. So we got our UCC permits just approved the other day. PLCB has been working wonderfully with us, so April is still the goal.
Yeah, so in a month or so.
Yeah.
Bring time for the warm weather.
Yep, we have our outside area and everything.
Dave?
Yeah, sounds good. I'm going to come down, because
I hope you better.
I like to see it, but
he said he's writing a check to you tonight.
Yeah,
wonderful.
He wants the best.
Yeah, it's
IPA.
Silicon. They bounce real well. Anyway.
Hoppiest IPA I'll have for you.
Oh, thank you. You're so kind.
No, I'm gonna.
Can I BYOB
for $1,900
for the right price? I'll let you do whatever you want.
There you go.
Corey, I tell you what, I knew after we met you and just a little bit of brief time we had at the Winter Brew Fest, and you're just like, Jason saying, well, you got to have him on. So absolutely. This has been phenomenal. The passion you're bringing, I can see it. What you've done in the nonprofit world, I don't know where you had time to do it, and now you've stepped back some of that, but you've got more passion and more vision going forward to push your dream into reality. So kudos to that. And we wish, from all of us, we wish you nothing but the best and success. And I'm hoping this continues to grow into what your vision was and even beyond.
Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate that. And I mean, I can make space for you guys on a regular basis in my bar because we have the space for it. So if you want a space where you can drink and have fun and record and meet people, sky's the limit when it comes to collaboration.
We've gotten to the point where we can make it a little mobile. We can even make it a little mobile if we just take our phenomenal camera cell phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the best. They truly are.
They're great camera phones.
Yeah. So you brought, this is going to be our final beer. I'm going to get out of here. This is one from, tell us about it.
From Gift Horse. They just released this Centennial Lager. It's in honor of the 100th anniversary of the Yorktown Hotel, which is a block and a half from my house.
And they took how long to restore that whole thing?
Just a little bit of time.
I mean, years.
When a project like that,
it's huge. And you want to make sure it's nice and
of course it's gorgeous.
Appears to the era that hotel was.
Yeah,
established.
It's a Hilton. They got historic tax credits. They did some of the most creative things, from what I understand. And I did work at Downtown Inc. for a time while that whole project was still being actualized, but some of the decorative features in the ceiling, for the first time receiving historic tax credits, they 3D printed some aspects to match it as perfectly as it could. Otherwise, I mean, things can be exorbitantly expensive to replace. So this was the first time they did a lot of interesting things in that space, and I'm so proud of the time that I spent working on that. I mean, Kim Hogeman, who was the project manager on that Yorktown project, she gave me a light fixture that will be in my bar.
Yeah, this guy is going to the bar?
Yeah.
Did she get a plaque with it, too?
She showed me. She has a plaque in my heart. She showed me the church next doors where they stored a lot of things. She was like, you can have whatever you want from here. I'm so grateful for what she's offered up and her expertise. I loved working with Kim, and I mean, she's the reason why that place is open now, and it wasn't a couple more years to open, but it's a great place, and I hope everyone visits those bars there because they got a lobby bar and a rooftop bar that are pretty cool. great view on the rooftop.
It's a rooftop bar.
Yeah,
Rooftop.
the rooftop's a great view.
Might
But-
take a late night trip there.
Yeah. So this is the Centennial Lager from
Yep.
Gift Horse Brewing.
Yes, indeed.
So, Corey, thank you very much for being
Thank
here,
you.
being a guest. If you're out there, we're going to raise a glass with Corey Wolf from Wolf Bar, soon to be open, from Ben, Dave, and myself and the CPP crew. Let's all be bonded by beer. Cheers.